Hello, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the coronavirus look. This is just kind of what we're doing right now, right? I wanted to film a quick video. My bangs are also like kind of crazy, but whatever, we're doing the best we can. I'm down 5 nails. What do you want? We're all struggling. I wanted to film a video about like weeks 2 through maybe 6 of recovery for post-op for tummy tuck, mainly because I feel like depending on what you get done, like, so for me, weeks 2 through, I guess 4, really didn't have a lot of variance. And I feel like a lot of people on the internet, like on Real Self and whatnot, they were talking about how like at week 2 and 3, they were like way like further along basically in the recovery. And I just wasn't. So I had my drains in still. I didn't get my drains taken out until 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks in a day. So the point of this is to kind of explain my recovery. If you do this and you do find yourself in this, you know, kind of scenario, this is how I kind of worked. So weeks 2 through 4, I still had drains. So all my restrictions were still in place. I still couldn't go anywhere because I was technically had an open wound. I couldn't, I had to stay hunched over. I had to have my cane still. I couldn't get upright. I could kind of like bit by bit stand up, but like nowhere near fully upright, right? That did not happen until probably 6 weeks for me. And I think a lot of that had to do with the combination of the muscle plication plus the drains. That's what I've kind of heard from everybody else, is people that didn't have the plication, their muscles weren't as tight, so they kind of loosened up easier. And then they didn't have drains as long, so they were, you know, once your drains are out, you're mending a lot quicker because you don't have an open wound. A few things about drains. Don't let that be the reason you don't do it. So drains are super temporary, and they're a royal pain in the ass, don't get me wrong, but they're not enough of a reason to not do it. Hey, you wanna come here? Oh, Jesus. You just popped your head, Bubba. Say hello. Hello. See, I was not allowed to touch Mommy until all the drains was gone. Yeah. Okay, so quickly. You're showering in the chair with a handheld thing. You cannot be like submerged in anything. You still have to clean around, like everything is still super careful and cautious. All of that stuff from my other video, same, all of that stands. The biggest difference you're gonna see with drains in, but after week 1, is your overall mobility. So I could get off the couch easier. I could walk to the bathroom. I also noticed maybe around the 2.5 week mark, really, probably 2.5 to 3 weeks, my endurance got a lot better. So I have a lot of back problems. I have a whole video about it. So I have permanent mobility loss. So for me, I cannot ask my back to pull the weight. I have to ask my core to. So I knew having this surgery, my recovery was gonna be a little longer because I don't have that backup, you know what I mean? So, oh, that's a terrible pun, actually. I just thought about that. But anyway, so it took me longer to get to where I could just stand. And I don't mean like upright, but just stand up with my cane and be like kind of bent over because my back would just be killing me. So by the time I was probably at 2.5 weeks, I was up enough that I could kind of squat down. And I'll give you like some examples, but that I could squat down and kind of take the pressure off my back. Or I would kind of developed enough like techniques and sort of like mnemonic devices, like little hacks, to help me out. So like when I was brushing my teeth, I have an electric toothbrush and it goes for at least 2 minutes, right? So I would stand a certain way at the sink to take the pressure off my back. Or skincare was a big one. When I finally was able to wash my face and do all my skincare, guys, I'm a skincare expert. Like I have a 10-step skincare routine. that was exhausting. So something that I found to be really helpful was I would literally like I'd go sit on my tub. I would go take a break against my tub, and my mom would spot me, or Jeremy would spot me or something, right? One of them was always with me whenever I was there. And then I think around 2.5 weeks was really when I could do it myself, where I was okay. I could get up, I could brush my teeth. I literally, oh, here you go. I'm kind of all over the place, sorry. The time it took, I would brush my teeth, and then I would do my skincare separately. Like I couldn't do them at the same time for probably 2.5 weeks. Getting to where I could do them both at the same time, like I could brush my teeth, do my skincare, and not have to take a break, that was probably 3 weeks, just because it was so taxing on my back. So I feel like I keep saying this, and I will forever say this, I'm a bit of a specific case on that front. So if you don't have the back problems that I've got, you might have a much easier go of it. But just in the interest of full disclosure and transparency, and giving you an idea of what maybe a non-ideal case is like, there you go. It is totally possible. You're just gonna take longer. It's what we were saying in the last video, and that week 1 tips and tricks and stuff. You got to take it seriously. So I couldn't cook, and I couldn't cook. There's no way in hell I could cook until my drains were out. That's for sure. I couldn't stand that long. And I mean that long by like I couldn't stand up and actually cook a whole meal. I could heat something up, but like to actually cook 45 minutes thing, no. I think we went into Nordstrom to get me Spanx as a compression garment. They told me to get Spanx. And so I think I had 1 drain in still, and they told me that like you should go ahead and get it, because once you're out of drains, once your other one's out, you'll immediately put those on for the compression. And so we went in, and he was like, you get in, you get out, you don't walk around. So we walked in, we went up, we got them, and we left. And that was the most adventure I had. And I wore like a maxi dress, and I had that, like, you could see it in my one video, I had that kind of surgical gauze necklace thing. I kind of hid that a little bit. I had like a sweater on over it or something like that, and pulled my hair forward. Like, you can figure it out. Or you could put like a shirt, whatever, right? Live your life. But yeah, like I couldn't go to Costco. I remember specifically asking, can we go to Costco? And Jeremy was like, I'll get her one of those wheelchairs. She can like cruise around. He's like, no, because all it takes is one person to bump her, and she's in the hospital. Like, you are still technically considered an open wound. There's just too high of a risk. The biggest thing I would say to you is, depending on how long you have your drains in, that dictates how like careful you have to be for how long. Past that, once they were out, I still had to sit down and take a shower. They healed. Oh, quick point. They healed within 48 hours of me having the drains out, the little holes. It took 48 hours for them to cover. So that's pretty quick. But I think I still sat in the shower for like 1 or 2 more times, and then I could kind of lean. I was just, my thing was my back. So I didn't want to take the risk of like it getting so tired, and then I get tired quicker. So get to the point where I could slip and fall. So I think I was a little bit more paced on that, but that's just me being careful, right? That's it. But I would say you were totally able to be upright in a shower once your drains were out. Drain removal, what does it feel like? I've never had a tapeworm, but it is what I would imagine a tapeworm feels like. You feel, so they're sutured in, and there's no give to these things. So it's terrifying. Like, it is terrifying to touch them or anything. Like, it's scary. And when they pull them out, they take the sutures off, and then they start to pull. And this long ass surgical tubing comes out, and we're talking like as long as I'm not that tall, but like as long as my leg. I have pretty short legs, but still, they're legs. And that's obviously wrapped through you, right? So you feel it move. That is what is so trippy, because you're like, what? That's like, whoa. It just is not supposed to be inside you, right? So it is crazy how that feels, but it's so fast. It's like literally you're done in like a few minutes. You're done fast. And then you're on your way, and you feel, I swear to God, you feel so much better immediately. Like, it's crazy. And then when you're upright, I didn't get upright. I think I went back to work 4.5 weeks after I had it done, and I couldn't stay. Like, I had to leave. And so what I used to do, I used to be in charge of education and sales. I was a regional education and sales for a skincare company. You guys know I've worked in this industry forever. Now I work for myself, but then I worked for another company. Anyway, so I went to work to do this event for them, and I left after an hour. I couldn't take it. I wasn't upright yet. It was too hard on me. I just wasn't, I was like hunched over. I looked horrible. Like, it's just like, you wouldn't want to talk to me. You know what I mean? I wasn't benefiting anybody. So I left. And then I think within maybe a week and a half from that point, so I'm probably at 6 weeks, I was upright. And then it was like way fast. So 6 weeks I was upright, and at 8 weeks my dad happened. So within those 2 weeks, I went from being upright to I could fly. I was living in a hospital for 2 weeks with my dad. I drove 17 hours. I could carry everything. Like, I basically 180. Like, I was doing everything. So to give you some kind of an idea though, and that 2 to 6 week thing, you really do heal like rapidly once your drains are out. So that's not saying that if it takes you longer, you're not healing correctly, because it took me forever and I healed great. Yeah, but that's really the biggest factor in terms of the timeline of your recovery, especially for like that downtime recovery, because really, as long as you have drains in, you're not doing shit. And you really shouldn't be. So just take it easy, be mindful of everything, you know, really just don't be an idiot. Like, if you had it done, it's what I said in the other day. If you did all this effort, you know, scheduled everything, you paid for everything, all that time, money, effort, all of that, the least you could do is respect the recovery restrictions. I've had a few people ask me to do, like, try to mimic how I walked, so I'll show you as best I can. When you are hunched over, you need to be able to touch your legs or your knees, right? Like right above your knees, basically the tops of your quads. You need to be able to hit here. So you're like this all of the time, okay? And this is all bound. You've got a big bandage all the way here, and you've got your drains on. And your drains are like right here. So you are very protective of this region. Like, that's like, does not matter how tired you are protective of that region. So you walk literally like this. That's it. And it's like, that's moving. The first couple of days, it's like, and then you've got a cane, right? So tips, if you've got a cane, don't use it like this. Don't do 2 hands, because that subconsciously engages your core. You're not supposed to do that. So 1 hand, keep it up higher than you think, and then you'll kind of notice, you'll kind of slowly start to come up, and you got to keep your back straight. For me, that's hard, right? Because this doesn't work on my back. So I had to tilt down and use more of my ass. So for me, it was always about keeping my knees bent, trying to keep the pressure in my butt and my legs as much as I could, so I could kind of trick my body, if that makes sense, but still be respectful of my drains. So like, I understand that that's really particular, but again, like, even if I'm the only person on the planet that ever does this, if somebody else gets it and looks for it, I want to be helpful. I also really, in case you do have back issues, or in case, you know, whatever, it's helpful, right? Hopefully it is. A quick touch base on a few of the other things we talked about before. We talked about the diet, like that no sodium, really restricted sodium. That is more for swelling. So once my drains were out, I think I was eating pretty normally. I don't eat a lot of like super high sodium stuff anyway, but you know, that kind of faded pretty quick. And then I still eat a ton of protein. I drink a ton of protein. So I still do that. But that's just overall muscle recovery. The pineapple, I think we did for, holy shit, quite a while. At least the 6 weeks. And then, yeah, because I definitely didn't do it when I was with my dad in the hospital. I didn't do anything. I did do the protein though. I did manage to find a drugstore that had protein. Not the point. But the weeks 2 through 6 mainly, all of that diet stuff, all of that stayed intact. Mobility and everything did improve, but again, that's all drain dependent. Those are the two biggest things. I would say those are the two biggest categories you gotta be mindful of. And then once you're upright and moving, you bounce back pretty quick. So then it's all about your personal swelling progress, your if you are into exercise, what your exercise restrictions are. My exercise restrictions did not get removed until 12 weeks. I can tell you I'm 6.5 months out now, and I am fully back. I will also tell you, I've touched on this on other videos, like in vlogs and stuff. I work out a lot. I work out every single day. I usually do at least an hour. I'm on this whole endurance training thing right now. So I'm doing at least an hour a day, 7 days a week, cardio. So I swallow a lot more than I probably would if I weren't doing that. The other thing I noticed is if you do any kind of ab workout, planks specifically, crunches, anything like that, holy shit, you're gonna swell. So don't freak out, and also don't let that be the reason to not exercise. It's okay, it'll pass. Because once that swelling goes away, you'll still have your definition in your carbs. So like, you kind of make that deal with yourself. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna keep this, I was really trying to keep this video way briefer than the last one because that was like an hour. But yeah, so hopefully this helps. Feel free to leave me comments if you guys have any other further questions. I'll happily do another video answering them. The other thing I really wanted to touch on was I will definitely do a video on things you should buy for recovery, because I think that was something I was looking for and nobody was really helpful on, or at least if they were, I didn't find their video. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye.